I was just listening to a doctor recently saying when she does surgery on people that have broken bones as they've gotten older, like literally, some of these people's bones are so weak that she doesn't even need to screw the metal plates into their bones, or she can't. She could literally push them in with a hand. That's how soft their bones are. And it's
Hmm.
not just a vegetarian issue, but why, in your opinion, is bone loss so common amongst older people today?
Well, I mean, the wear and tear over time, a couple of reasons, truthfully. One is that the processed diets that we eat are so unbelievably acidic, they create metabolic acidosis that the body is pulling calcium out of bones on a regular basis to try to neutralize that toxicity. So, when you've got inflammation and all of that going on in most people's bodies over a long period of time, you're creating a situation where they can be pulling calcium out of bone, whether it's from sodas and sugars and all the things that they're doing. So there's dietary factors for sure. Stress patterns also will contribute to some of these kinds of changes with bone loss. Loss of muscle mass from lack of physical activity and things that we talk about. This is kind of an intriguing piece. If you think about the human body, it's very electromagnetic in nature. People don't realize that a lot of normal activity or function in the body relies on the actual flow of current, literal electrical current through the cells and organs and tissues of the body. Robert Becker, many years ago, wrote a book called The Body Electric, which is the best research on the electromagnetic nature of human body function. He was one of the first people that created the idea of putting a cuff of current around a healing bone, knowing that that current of healing would affect bone health. Well, understand something. Living bone is like a crystal. Most people have this idea that if I took the largest bone out of your body, which is the upper thigh bone, the femur, and you held it in front of you, it would kind of look like a baseball bat. But in the human body, that's not the way it is. It's about 70% water, and then it's got a crystalline structure of apatite and calcium and all of that. So bone is what we could call a living crystal. And our viewers out there that know about crystals, crystals people wear and all that. Well, bone is a living crystal. Crystals have a unique thing about them. If you put a mechanical force on a crystal, it creates a current in that crystal. It's called the piezoelectric effect. When muscles attach to bones and I increase muscle action, it creates a tugging force on that bone that will create a line of force, an electromagnetic current that will pull calcium along the line of force, wherever that line of force is. And that has got an actual name called Wolff's Law, that the body will deposit calcium. So here's an interesting piece. One of the big causes of bone loss is loss of muscle mass. If you lose muscles and they're tugging force on bone, now that bone is not going to have the current flow that it needs to maintain and regenerate. And so there could be loss from that. So having not only weight bearing force, but increasing muscle mass from earlier on and maintaining it with adequate protein and adequate movement can also protect the integrity of bone. The other thing that has big impact, of course, is our exposure to things like vitamin D. Vitamin D has a huge impact on bone health, as does testosterone, some hormones. So there's hormonal and vitamin impact. So if we're losing hormone integrity over time, if we're not getting some adequate sunlight or taking some supplemental vitamin D if we need it, and we're not getting physical movement and we're losing muscle mass and we're eating acidic diets, this is very much a part of what the life cycle and the lifestyle of most Americans and people in the Western world have become. Sedentary behavior is the new smoking. People are not moving enough. They're still eating trashy acid forming diets. They're losing muscle mass, not working out enough. So all of these things contribute to this outcome, Paul.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the raw life health show. Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the raw life health show.